The oil isn't just in the ground, it's in their blood. And now, with new enemies rising and old wounds still bleeding, the fight for Texas land is about to explode. Sam Elliott stands tall like a wall against the storm, but this storm wears a suit, and his name is Billy Bob Thornton, Season 1 of Landman. Laid the foundation for a ruthless power struggle deep in the heart of Texas. It wasn't just about oil, it was about land, legacy, and survival in a world that doesn't play fair. At the center of it all was Sam Elliott's character, a proud and rugged landman who'd rather lose everything than sell out to corporate greed. His voice was calm, his stare sharp, and his mission clear: protect the land his family has worked for generations. But when big oil companies came knocking, they didn't come alone. They brought lawyers, politicians, and money that could make anyone think twice. Sam's battles in Season 1 were personal. He wasn't fighting for just profit, he was fighting for dignity. With his crew of loyal oil workers and a few powerful allies, he tried to stop the takeover of family-owned lands. Every deal made behind closed doors pulled him deeper into a web of lies, corruption, and danger. By the end of the season, the rules had changed, lines were crossed. And just when it seemed Sam had gained some ground, a new name was whispered. Across Texas like thunder before a storm, the man from the city, the man with a plan, and the man who would burn everything to win Billy Bob Thornton's character. The finale of Season 1 didn't end in a shootout, but it felt like one. It was quiet, too quiet. Sam stood on the porch of his land, watching the dust roll in from the horizon, knowing that a new player had arrived. And this time, it wouldn't be enough to fight with honor. He'd need to get dirty. Now, Season 2 begins with the tension already boiling. The oil fields are burning hot with greed, and the land Sam fought so hard to protect is slipping through his fingers. Corporate towers are rising like thorns on the soil, and the people of Texas are being forced to choose sides. This isn't just business anymore, it's war. And in this war, Sam Elliott must face a man who doesn't care about the land, the people, or the past. He only cares about one thing: control. Billy Bob Thornton's arrival is more than just a new name. It's the start of a new era. His character doesn't knock on doors, he breaks them down. With deep pockets and no patience, he starts buying loyalty, bending the law, and turning Sam's Eli's into enemies. The small-town oil man must now fight against a machine that doesn't stop and doesn't feel. He'll be pushed to the edge, maybe even past it. Season 2 wastes no time. Within the first episode, we see just how deep the cracks have formed in Sam's world. His workers are being poached, his wells are drying up, and the very people he trusted are starting to doubt him. But Sam doesn't back down. He may be tired, he may be wounded, but he's not done. The fight that started in the dirt of Texas is about to rise into the boardrooms, the courtrooms, and maybe even the graveyards. The setup is clear: old ways versus new power. A cowboy against a kingpin. And as the pressure builds, one question echoes across the oil fields: how far will Sam Elliott go to stop Billy Bob Thornton? And will it be enough to save what's left of his legacy? Sam Elliott isn't playing. The hero in a white hat, he is the land. The dirt under his boots, the sun on his weathered face, the silence before a storm. Every part of him is tied to Texas. But Season 2 doesn't let him just be a guardian. It forces him to become a warrior. In a world where principles are poison and only the ruthless survive. This season, Sam is pushed harder, broken deeper, and challenged in ways even he never saw coming. His enemies are no longer just greedy land agents or slick corporate sharks. They're people with faces he once trusted. A new oil contract in the Permian Basin, backed by shady foreign investors, threatens to swallow not only his family's land, but the entire town's future. Everyone has a price now, but Sam? He's the man they can't buy, and that makes him dangerous. The companies call him old-fashioned. They think he'll bend or break. But they forget Sam's the kind of man who'll bury his boots in the ground before backing down. This season digs into the emotional roots of his fight. It's not just about ownership, it's about his father's legacy, his broken promises to his late wife and the people in the town who still believe in him. The pressure isn't just coming from the outside. Inside his own home, there's unrest. His daughter questions his methods, his crew starts to fear he's too stubborn to win, and even Sam wonders if he's chasing a memory more than a future, but something shifts when Bob Thornton's character begins bulldozing through the system. This new player isn't just threatening Sam's land, he's insulting everything Sam believes in. That's when Sam's fight becomes personal. He knows this man isn't just here to drill oil, he's here to wipe away everything that doesn't fit his blueprint. And Sam Elliott's character? He's not built to disappear quietly. In Season 2, we see a grittier, more haunted version of Sam. He still speaks slow and rides alone, but his silence now carries fire. He's no longer reacting, he's making moves. Using old knowledge, hidden maps, and long-forgotten connections, Sam begins to outmaneuver people who underestimated him. While the corporate world plays games with contracts and bailouts, Sam uses backroads, native land laws, and generations-old wisdom to fight from the ground up. We also see him face hard choices. At one point, he's offered a deal that could save his family, but at the cost of a neighbor's land. It's the kind of decision that tears a man apart. And it's here that Sam Elliott proves who he really is: not a businessman, not a politician, but a protector. Even when it costs him everything. Season 2 paints Sam not just as a man fighting for the land, but as the land fighting back. When wells run dry and lies pour like oil, Sam becomes the line between honor and collapse. And as Bob's power spreads, Sam becomes more than just a problem for him. He becomes the last wall standing, but the question is, how long can one man stand when the whole world's against him? He doesn't wear a cowboy hat. He doesn't care for the dust or the cattle or the stories passed down through generations. Bob Thornton's character steps into Texas like a man who already owns it, and in his mind he does. From the moment he arrives in Season 2, everything changes. The ground feels colder, the air tighter. It's not a storm coming. It's him. Thornton plays a billionaire oil magnate with charm like poison and sweet tea, smooth, but deadly. He's not here to play fair. He's here to take everything. He rolls into town in tailored suits and armored deals, backed by shadowy investors and legal loopholes that bleed small landowners dry. He speaks softly, but every word slices like a knife. To him, land is just numbers. Families, just obstacles. He doesn't hate Sam Elliott, he doesn't even respect him. He just wants him gone. What makes Bob's character so dangerous isn't just his power, it's how he uses it. While Sam fights in the open, Thornton's character plays in the shadows. He buys out water rights. He flips local banks. He hosts fancy charity events while bulldozers move in at midnight. He turns Sam's friends into enemies not with threats, but with smiles and fat checks. Even the sheriff, once loyal to Sam, starts showing up late or not at all. But Thornton's true genius lies in his psychology. He studies people, finds their weaknesses, and exploits them. One by one, he starts to dismantle Sam's world, not by force but by rot. A young rancher falls into debt. A loyal worker's wife suddenly gets a job offer in another state. Quiet moves, cold strategies. And it works because he doesn't need everyone to betray Sam, he just needs enough. There's a scene in episode 3 that defines him. He stands in a courtroom, completely calm, while a judge rules in his favor and strips another piece of land from Sam's neighbors. Outside, reporters shout questions. Thornton smiles and says, "I'm not taking Texas, I'm saving it." And just like that, he walks away, leaving chaos in his wake. As the season unfolds, Thornton's character reveals another layer. He's not just here to expand business, he has a personal reason to crush Sam. Maybe it's an old grudge. Maybe something in Sam's past threatens his rise. Whatever it is, this isn't just business anymore, it's war. And Bob wants to win by erasing every piece of Sam's legacy. He also brings people with him: merciless lawyers, private security, and one particular assistant who seems quiet at first, until you realize she's the one pulling strings behind half the betrayals. Together they operate like a machine, cold, fast, and unstoppable, but as powerful as he is. Thornton's character has one blind spot: he underestimates the land itself. He thinks he can buy Texas. He forgets Texas doesn't bend, it breaks back. And while he's busy building his empire, Sam Elliott is preparing something slower, older, and far more dangerous than any lawsuit revenge written in dirt. And steel, the season sets up the ultimate clash. Thornton's polished power versus Sam's raw roots. Money versus memory. A man who thinks the world owes him everything, and a man who owes the world nothing but is willing to give it all to stop the other. Asterisk. This isn't just a fight over oil, it's a war over what kind of future Texas will have. Landman then Season 2 digs into the bones of the land and asks, a question deeper than any drill can reach. When everything has a price, what's still worth protecting? In the middle of steel pipelines and burning ambition, the real battle is between soul and system. At the heart of the season lies a brutal collision of two worlds. Sam Elliott stands for something old, something fading handshakes over contracts, family over profit, and land that's more than dirt, it's memory. But Bob Thornton represents a new kind of enemy, one that smiles, calculates, and builds towers on top of graves. His character doesn't care about honor or community. To him, Texas is a chessboard and he plays to win, no matter how many pawns get crushed. Season 2 explores the cost of progress. As oil rigs rise and backroom deals grow dirtier, we see how power poisons everything it touches. Ranches are swallowed by concrete, neighbors turn against each other, and the air itself begins to choke with smoke from flares and fury. The show doesn't just show destruction, it shows seduction. People who once stood with Sam start questioning him. They want comfort, they want safety. And Thornton's empire promises both, even if it means selling their souls. But the land fights back. Landman reminds us that the earth remembers. Sinkholes open beneath hurried construction. Wells turn sour. Strange fires burn where they shouldn't, and Sam knows it's not superstition. It's nature's answer to greed. He begins to realize that some things can't be controlled with money or law. There are old forces buried deep in Texas, and when disturbed, they bite. The emotional weight of the season grows heavier with each episode. We see the toll this war takes not just on land but on people. Families are torn apart. Old friendships rot. Love turns cold under the heat of betrayal. Even Sam, the unshakable symbol of tradition, begins to crack. His anger grows sharper, his methods rougher. He starts to ask himself, am I protecting the land or am I just trying to win? Meanwhile, Thornton's side shows what unchecked ambition really looks like. A community center becomes a drill site. A children's park is sold overnight. The town's identity begins to vanish under layers of steel and silence, and the people, they either adapt or disappear. One of the most powerful themes this season is legacy. Sam is not just fighting for land, he's fighting for a memory, a way of life, a promise made to ancestors who built fences by hand and lived off the sweat of the soil. Thornton's character, in contrast, wants to leave his mark by erasing all that came before. He doesn't just want success, he wants to rewrite history, but history doesn't go quietly. As the season builds, Landman draws a clear line. This is a battle between roots and greed, between those who know the land and those who only want what's under it. The show asks hard questions. Can honor survive in a world built on contracts? Can you save a town without losing yourself? And most of all, how far will a man go when pushed to the edge? By the time the oil war reaches its boiling point, the answer is clear. In Texas, land is not given, it's defended. And in Season 2, that defense becomes a full-blown war with no clean victories.